I am Jamesboy Imani. In this episode, we discuss the time stealers, or you can say the time killers, things that rob away your precious time and making you lose big time. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15 to 16 says, "Be careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making use of every opportunity." A wise person will make use of the opportunity of time to advance in life. One of the greatest thieves in the times that we live in is social media. Many people are being distracted from from developmental ideas and constructive things in life because of social media. Some prefer to just spend their time scrolling up and down all social media platforms, knowing which celebrity ate what is the latest shoe, who did what, without realizing the whole day has gone. Hours and hours have been spent watching content that is not relevant to your purpose and journey in life, and not realizing that those people whose content you're watching are actually working. For them, they are actually making use of this social media platform to earn out of you. So for them, they're actually making value. So it's not bad to go through social media, but everything that God gives us is for a purpose. So if you're using it to develop, if what you're searching or what you're watching is in line with what you're doing, it adds more value to you in line of your work and purpose, then that's useful. But if what you're doing is just idle for the sake of doing, then time is even robbing you of resources because data is not free. Internet is paid for. So imagine wasting time and also resources and energy just to do nothing. Music, movies, and games. There are people who are addicted to movies. There are people who are addicted to music. There are people who are addicted to games. They play games night and day until they get even health problems. That's why you see there's an increase in eye issues. People are spending much time on screen time. Everything has to be done in moderation. If you choose to just entertain yourself, you'll end up wasting days, you'll end up wasting hours, and you'll end up realizing that when it's too late, when you're an old man and you lost a lot of time. One thing you should realize, what you use your second for will determine how your minute will look like. What you use your minute for will determine how your hours will be like. If you waste your hours, that will determine how your day will be like. The days multiply into weeks, and weeks will end up into years. So it's very important how you spend that 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, because in the end, it will compound to make years. So each time wasted will add up into years wasted. You have to be wise. Things like careless discussions, useless talks, chit chat, conversations that are not constructive also are time stealers. Gossip, rumor mongering, bragging. This can be physical or even online through phones, virtual. It could be chatting with someone online. It could be long phone calls. It could be emails, but even physical conversation. But all this is just aimed at what we call small talk, cheap talk, which will not help you in life. You have to spend your time seeking knowledge and building capacity and value by talking constructive things that will build you up. And this means you have to actually determine the people who you set around yourself, because this will determine the conversations you will have. Laziness can come in many forms. One is oversleeping. Oversleeping, not doing anything, focusing on eating, snacks, and just chilling, being there, doing nothing. That is dangerous because each time you spend time sleeping, someone else there is building value. Someone else there is advancing. Each time you're not doing something, someone else is moving forward. So don't be lazy. Don't procrastinate. Don't oversleep. Do everything in moderation, knowing that time is limited. Most people do not realize they sleep half of their life. If you're 40 years, then you spend 20 years asleep. If you're 50 years, you spent 25 years asleep. Now imagine if you're, let's say, 20 years, that means you've spent 10 years asleep. You need to do a lot to compensate for the time you have to be hardworking and you have to be focused. As you're partying and drinking and moving from place to place, looking for the next hangout to enjoy yourself, someone out there is developing. You'll find that you're partying, but people who are your age mates already advanced and they left you in a certain stage. So there are so many activities, going to bars, going to clubs, music, concerts, and actually some activities which look positive, but they are also, if not handled with wisdom, can end up becoming negative. Even things like church activities. People who spend time at church from morning to evening, they are overnights. During the day, you're at church. During evening, you're at church. You're always in church things. There's nothing developmental or constructive that you're doing practically to develop your life. Because even these things that we learn at church, which God speaks to us in the Word, they are meant to be implemented in this life. God wants people who produce. God wants people who bring change in the world, not people who are passive, always hiding under other activities and not being useful in this world. Because God put you in this world for a purpose and there's something you must achieve. Pray, but also there's time to work. There's also time to be developmental. Learn to balance every activity. Aimless moving just from one place to another shows you're idle and it shows you're not doing anything. Because if you're doing something, you move for a purpose and for a reason. You should not be a person who just moves anyhow, blown by the wind. Wherever it takes you, you just go. That is a time stealer. There are things you can even do to save time. Some things can be solved over an email. Some things can be solved over a text online. Some things can be solved over an online meeting. Because when you're organized, you know what should be done, when, and how. You should put everything in order in your life. Note down things. You should have a daily schedule, a monthly schedule, an annual schedule. You should always have also a priority list. Know the to-dos that you plan to do in a day. Know what is more important than the rest. So you first focus on the more important things as you go down ticking. So when you have a schedule, regular schedule, daily, and priority list, the routine will help to keep you in check. And that means you'll always be doing things on time. When you wake up in a day, you have a timetable. Do you know what you will do from what time to what time and how your day will go like? Or you just wake up to see how the day will take you. You have no program. That is a reckless life, and that means over the years, you realize you lost so much precious time, yet you could have done so much out of it. Lastly, you have to learn to say yes and no. You have to learn to say no for something which is not valuable to you. Not every friend who calls you come for a party, you go. You have to have a no in your mouth and you stand by it. Things that you notice are not in your program and will affect your important schedule. Learn to say no. It might be painful in a way, but in the long run, it is for your good. Don't only focus on fun. Don't only focus on pleasing yourself and the moment. Know that life moves, and each year that moves, you grow older and more responsibilities come. And what you do now will determine your future. So look ahead of you and start planning for the future that you want to be by the things that you will do now. And one of the most important decisions you have to make today, here and now, is to decide to become a better time manager. Use your time wisely. Use your time to develop yourself. Use your time to develop your ideas. And use your time to develop your purpose and benefit yourself, people, and God as well. Time is an important thing that you must put into consideration now. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 says, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity or purpose under the heavens. Learn to allocate your time wisely. Learn to delegate your tasks. Have a schedule, have a timetable, have a routine, have a priority list, have a to-do list. Make sure that each day, at the evening of every day that you live, there is a reason that is worth celebrating because you used all the time during that day for something that was worthwhile.